the hidden Australian city that's actually cheaper than Bangkok for expats. While digital nomads are paying $1,200 for a tiny Bangkok studio, there's an Australian city where expats are living in beachfront apartments for $800, and nobody's talking about it. I know what you're thinking. Australia? Affordable? That's the country where coffee costs $7, and rent in Sydney will eat your entire remote work salary. But if you've been priced out of Southeast Asia's so-called cheap expat havens, what I'm about to show you will flip everything you thought you knew about affordable living. But wait, before we begin, please subscribe to ensure that you never miss out on any of my essential stuff. Comment, "I subscribe" below, and I will personally welcome you to our community. With that said, let's get started. Because here's the truth nobody's putting in their top 10 budget paradises listicles. Bangkok isn't cheap anymore. According to the Knight Frank Asia Pacific report from 2024, rent in Bangkok has surged 47% since 2021. The budget paradise is dying. Let me introduce you to Chin Wei. He's a 34-year-old Taiwanese software developer who moved to Bangkok in 2022 with dreams of that $600 a month lifestyle you see all over YouTube. Reality check. He ended up paying $1,400 for a decent apartment in Sukhumvit. Add another $300 a month for reliable Wi-Fi and air conditioning that doesn't break down every other week. That's nearly $1,700 before he even bought groceries. But here's what stunned him when he visited Australia on a whim last year. He found something that defied every travel blog, every expat forum, every digital nomad starter pack video you've ever watched. He found Cairns. Cairns, Australia. A tropical city of 160,000 people in far north Queensland. Palm trees, beaches, warm weather year-round. And here's the part that'll make you pause the video. A 2-bedroom apartment with ocean views costs $820 a month. That's less than the median rent in Bangkok for comparable quality. I'm not making this up. According to domain.com, September 2024 data, that's the going rate. And before you say, yeah, but everything else is expensive, let me hit you with this. RBC Economics Australia found that Cairns' cost of living index is 23% below Sydney and Melbourne. But here's the kicker. It's also 18% below Chiang Mai when you factor in quality-adjusted expenses. That's from their 2024 Expat Purchasing Power Study. Meet Sarah Kim. She's a 29-year-old Korean-American graphic designer who made the move from Bali in March 2024. She told me, "I was paying $750 in Canggu for a place with mold growing on the walls and electricity that cut out whenever it rained. Now I pay $880 in Cairns for a modern apartment with air conditioning that actually works, fiber internet, and get this, I can drink water straight from the tap." You're not crazy for feeling priced out of Asia. The whole Southeast Asia is always cheaper narrative is outdated. But wait, isn't Australia's visa situation possible? That's what everyone says until you see this loophole. Yes, Australia has tough migration laws. I won't sugarcoat that. But there's a visa that 90% of digital nomads don't even know exists. It's called a Temporary Activity Visa, subclass 408, under the Australian government-endorsed event stream. This visa allows remote workers to stay up to 4 years if they're sponsored by regional governments that are desperate for population growth. And Cairns? They're actively recruiting. The Cairns Regional Council launched a program called Cairns Connect in January 2024, specifically designed to fast-track remote workers. This is straight from Australian Department of Home Affairs data. Jake Morrison is a 41-year-old Canadian video editor who got approved in just 6 weeks. He said, "I submitted proof of remote income. You need a minimum of $3,500 a month, health insurance, and a letter of support from the Cairns Chamber of Commerce. No job offer needed. No permanent residency commitment. I'm approved to stay here until 2027. But here's where it gets even weirder. The things that make Australia expensive actually save you money in Cairns. Let me break this down. I'm going to give you 5 costs that are secretly cheaper in Cairns and Bangkok. Starting with number 5. Number 5, healthcare. In Bangkok, Decent expat health insurance runs you $200 to $400 a month. And that's assuming you don't get hit with surprise exclusions or co-pays when something serious happens. In Cairns, Australia has Medicare reciprocal agreements with certain countries, which means free public health care if you qualify. And even if you don't, private health insurance through companies like Bupa costs around $120 a month for comprehensive coverage. That's 2024 pricing. Number 4, transport. Bangkok traffic is a nightmare. Most expats either rent a motorbike, which is risky, or rely on endless grab rides. Average monthly cost? About $300 if you're moving around regularly. Cairns is 12 kilometers across. You can walk or bike almost everywhere. There are free bus routes to the beaches. Regular city buses cost $2. You don't need a car unless you're exploring outside the city every weekend. Number 3, food. And this one's the real shocker. Yes, Bangkok has cheap street food. But if you're an expat who wants to eat a Western-style diet or avoid food poisoning, you're shopping at Villa Market and eating at expat-friendly restaurants. According to Numbio's 2024 data, the average weekly grocery bill for a Western diet in Bangkok is $110. In Cairns, it's $95 a week shopping at Woolworths or Coles. Plus, you get Australian food safety standards, which means you're not risking a hospital trip from mystery meat. Number 2, utilities. Bangkok is hot. Your air conditioning is running 24/7, and your electric bill reflects that $150 to $200 a month is normal. Cairns is tropical, but it's coastal. You get ocean breezes, and modern Australian apartments are built with actual insulation. Average monthly electricity bill, $80. And number 1, this is the big one, quality of life tax. In Bangkok, you're dealing with pollution. The air quality index regularly hits 150 or higher. There's constant noise. You're doing visa runs every 90 days, which costs around $300 each time when you factor in flights and accommodation. You're negotiating bribes for apartment leases, dealing with language barriers and emergencies, and hoping you don't get scammed by a landlord. In Cairns, you get clean air. English is the primary language, so no translation apps when something goes wrong. You have a stable legal system. No bribes. No visa runs. And oh, yeah, the Great Barrier Reef is right there. You can have first world infrastructure without first world prices. But I'm not going to lie to you. There are 3 deal breakers that could ruin this for you. Here's what the lifestyle bloggers won't tell you. Deal breaker number 1, limited direct flights. Cairns isn't a major hub. If you want to fly to Asia, you're connecting through Sydney or Melbourne, which adds $200 to $300 to your ticket price. But here's the alternative perspective. If you're a slow traveler who only takes 2 or 3 international trips a year, the money you save on rent more than covers this. If you're a new city every month nomad, this will frustrate you. Deal breaker number 2, small expat community. Cairns doesn't have the massive digital nomad scene of Chiang Mai or Bali. There are roughly 500 long-term expats in Cairns, compared to over 40,000 in Bangkok. If you need daily co-working spaces with networking events and nomad brunches, you'll feel isolated. But if you want deep work without constant social distractions, this is heaven. Deal breaker number 3, income threshold. The Australian visa requires proof of $45,000 a year in remote income. That's about $3,750 a month. According to the Remote Work Survey by Nomad List in 2024, this requirement eliminates 60% of budget digital nomads who are freelancing or building online businesses. Tom Reeves, a 38-year-old British web developer, got rejected in 2023 because his Upwork income fluctuated too much month to month. He reapplied in 2024 with 6 months of consistent client retainer contracts, and he got approved. The key is showing consistent, verifiable income. Bank statements, contracts, tax returns. So who is Cairns actually perfect for? Let me break down the 3 expat profiles thriving there right now. Profile number 1, the burned out Asia expat. You've done 3 or more years in Bangkok, Bali, or Vietnam. You loved it at first, but now you're tired. Tired of visa runs. Tired of food poisoning. Tired of explaining your job to immigration officers who don't understand remote work. You want the tropics without the chaos. Cairns give you that. Profile number 2, the nature-first remote worker. You don't care about nightlife. You prioritize hiking, diving, and outdoor adventures over bar crawls and co-working brunches. Cairns has the Daintree Rainforest, the Great Barrier Reef, and the Atherton Tablelands all within 90 minutes. If your ideal weekend is a reef dive followed by a waterfall hike, profile number 3, the Stealth Wealth Expat. You're earning $80,000 or more remotely, but you hate flashy nomad scenes. You don't want to post laptop on the beach photos for Instagram. You want affordable comfort without the clout chasing. In Cairns, locals don't care about your laptop lifestyle. You're just another person at the coffee shop. But here's the thing that seals the deal for most people who make the move, the tax advantage. If you structure things correctly, you can live in Cairns and pay 0 Australian income tax. Here's how. Australia taxes residents, not visitors. If you maintain tax residency in a territorial tax country, places like Thailand, Malaysia, or the Philippines, and you stay under 183 days per year in Australia, you're classified as a temporary resident. That means no Australian tax on foreign income. This is confirmed in ATO Ruling TR 2023/1. Michael Wong, a CPA who specializes in expat taxes, was quoted in the Australian Financial Review in March 2024 saying, "Digital nomads using the 408 visa can legally avoid double taxation with proper structuring." And even if you become a tax resident, Australia has tax treaties with over 45 countries to prevent you from being taxed twice. You can do this legally. You can do this safely. Now, let me zoom out for a second, because Cairns isn't just some random anomaly. It's part of a bigger shift happening right now called reverse migration. According to an OECD report from 2024, regional Australian cities saw a 34% increase in skilled migrant applications, while Southeast Asian capitals saw a 19% decrease in long-term expat stays. Why? Because Asia got expensive, and first-world countries got desperate for population. Emma Larsson, a 33-year-old Swedish UX designer, moved to Cairns in July 2024 after spending 6 years in Thailand. She put it perfectly. Chiang Mai rent has tripled since I arrived in 2018. The cheap Asia dream is over for people who want stability. Cairns is what Chiang Mai was back in 2015. This is a trend, not a fluke. And trends have a tipping point. Get in early, or watch the prices rise like they did in Lisbon, Medellin, and Chiang Mai. So what does this mean for your next move? An Australian city that's cheaper than Bangkok, with better healthcare, cleaner air, legal visa stability, and a tax advantage. Cairns proves that expensive countries can actually be cheaper than cheap countries when you factor in quality of life. So here's my question for you. What other expat truths are actually myths? Have you ever found a secret expat city that destroyed the stereotypes? Drop the city name in the comments. Let's build a list of places the travel influencers are sleeping on. And if you think I'm cherry-picking data, every single source I mention is linked in the description. Check them yourself. Then tell me I'm wrong.